Good evening. If you haven't done so already, I just want to remind you to silence your cell phones. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us tonight for this Light Up a Life Remembrance ceremony. I am Shannon McCowett, the Executive Director for Hospice of San Luis Obispo County. This is our 41st annual Light Up a Life season, and we are honored to provide the community with a precious opportunity to memorialize the lives of someone loved and lost. We are all here tonight in person, and I say hello to those of you joining us online, with the common purpose of remembering the special people in our lives who are no longer with us. Tonight, I remember my mom, Vicki Taylor, whose passing in 2009 ultimately led me to be standing here with you all, connected through a shared experience of loss and grief, and I hope also through the inspiration, comfort, and peace of the ceremony tonight. Since 1977, Hospice Low County has provided support for all who are facing a life-limiting illness, coming to the end of life, or who are grieving. As a non-medical volunteer hospice, we train and support volunteers to go into homes to serve clients as soon as they receive a diagnosis of a life-limiting illness. Our volunteers also provide much-needed respite support to caregivers. As a community grief center, we offer grief counseling to anyone in SLO County coping with a death, including the death of animal companions. We offer individual, family, and anticipatory grief counseling, and we offer various grief support groups. I acknowledge that for some of you, coming here tonight may not have been easy. I commend your willingness to be in touch with your grief, and I commend your courage. Grief is a universal emotion. It's something we all feel no matter where we come from or what we've been through. Grief comes for us all, and as humans who form close relationships with other people, it's hard to avoid. Cultural differences in grief and loss are profound and multifaceted. While grief is universally experienced, the ways individuals express and manage their grief can vary significantly across cultures. Culture acts as a framework through which individuals interpret and process their emotions. In many ways, culture dictates how people understand death and what is considered an appropriate way to grieve. By honoring and respecting our cultural differences, we gain a deeper appreciation for the varied ways in which human beings navigate the emotional landscape of loss. Whether through ritual, community, or personal reflection, grief reminds us of our shared humanity while highlighting the richness of cultural diversity. During Light Up a Life, we use the symbolism of the lantern to represent the light our lost individuals brought to our lives and how their lives continue to glow within us today. Thank you again for being here with us tonight to share in this community tradition.
Good evening. I am grateful that we can all be together here this evening and grateful that friends online can join us. And my name is Jason Sisk Provencio, and I'm a Hospice Low County board member. I'm also a spiritual leader in the community. And one of the things that I love about our community is that there are so many spiritual traditions. And I want to this evening include and honor them all as much as possible in my inspirational message. I invite us to pause for a moment and reflect on what grounds each one of us spiritually, whether that is a tradition, an understanding, an experience, or a hope. There are many ways of understanding the sacred, and I invite us to continue thinking of our own experience and our own hope as I lift up. Spirit of love and life, we pause to express our gratitude for this time together this evening. We express our gratitude for the common thread that connects each one of us here. Help us to acknowledge whatever we're feeling. Sometimes we feel sad. Other times we experience longing. And still other times joy as we remember important, life-giving moments. Help us remember that we carry our loved ones with us, and that we bring them with us into our interactions and experiences. We carry them with us in the world. We carry them with us here tonight. We remember and we honor their strength, their wisdom, their joy, their hope, and their light. Help us to carry all of this with us and to share it with others always. And we ask this in all the ways that we understand you. Amen.
Good evening. My name is Abe Lincoln. I am the chair of the Board of Directors for Hospice County, and I'm honored to be here once again. Tonight I am remembering my grandfather, also Abe Lincoln. We are about to begin reading the names, and let me apologize in advance for any names we miss or any names we mispronounce. We do our very best to read every name correctly, and at the end, we will ask if we have missed or mispronounced any names, that you please feel free to stand up yourselves and speak that name aloud. Amy Adams Fields. Charles A. Adams. Janice Hemingway Moore. Tyler Borges. Bob Adams. Corey Alper. Mike Hallahan. Mimi Adams. Nancy Adams. Mildred Dostalek. Victor Dostalek. James Dupre. Jude Watlet. Wayne Ali. Arsene Christopher. Pat Spinu. Roger Hanso. Connie Henready Church. Danny Colonna. Anne Lefevre Fugate. Bert Fugate. Carol Reddy Twisselman. Rosina Hall. Ed Feeberg. Carlo Hartunian, Catalin Herman, David Brian Middleton, Larry Brebs, Carol June Gresco, Robert Lilly, Mark Lodolo, Leonard Mansell, Dennis Gummerman, Donna Birch, Patricia Gummerman, Frida Kenny, Gerald May, Mark May, Wanda Lucas, Robert J. McNeil, MD, Jean Pollock, Mel Pollock, Elizabeth A. Kramer, Gary Miyamoto, Lyle Betker, Aiden G. Moreland, Eleanor Morgan, Harold Fay, Jean Pittman, Russell Morgan, Ruth Schultz, Jeff Newman, Dorothy Tipton Grubbs, Gerald Allen Owen, Olive Thea Borded, Dawn Ellen McCoy, Tad Wayland Fukumoto, Cindy Sargent, Ina Martin, Jay Johnston, Jeannie Silva, Jim Sargent, Jules Hawk, Kathy Silva, Lou Silva, Marie Rosenwasser, Mary Kay Eltroff, Rose Sargent, Susan Sargent, Mary Shinbine, Todd Pinion, Bob Tolley, Congressman Walter Capps, Denton Wilson, Faye Eukelson, Ibrahim Aziz Nakasa, Joe Eukelson, Michael Morris, Shirley Fosnut.
Hello, my name is Kim Chartrand. I am the care manager with Hospice County. I'm reading in memory of my parents who both died in 2022. Carrie Brown, Lori Brown, Leslie Brown, Vicki Taylor, Nancy Henry, Paul Heckman, Ray Deloy, Jim Kurtz, Gary Fawcett, Alan Root, Billy Fapiano, Bob Whitworth, Bob Hain, Anne Howe, James Howe, Christina Holland, Margaret Howe, May Rebel Lukens, Timothy Martin, Tyra Solomon, Arthur N. Roop, Brent Litticoat, Dorothy D. Roop, Justin Wiebe, Marianne Wolf, Paul Wolf, Robert H. Jansen, Robin C. Harris, Tony Marks, Denise Nielsen, Dennis Blankenship, Linda Blankenship, Margie Marshall, Scott McGowitt, Sylvia Morris, Bill Groom, Leo Mullaney, Loretta Mullaney, Todd Ricchetti, Tony Ortega, Arthur McLean, Dorothy Ellers, Bernard Joseph O'Shea, Jacqueline Noreen O'Shea, David Villanueva, Jim Quisenberry, Maureen Ratner, James Demarest Riggs, Sarah Demarest Shabbat, James Ritter, Lavanya Milligan, William Milligan, Bill Rollman, Natalie Joy Stoddard, Lori Marcella, Claudine Stratton, James Kurtz, Janan Winburn, Randy Dale, Cheryl Tatreau, Kathleen Carl, Mary Schneider, Christiana Maria Jenny, Patricia Jean Wilkerson, Lloyd Trustum, Wynn Sears, Jennifer Nicole Abalon, Kelly Nicole Sheehy, Francis Jean Simpkins, George William Simpkins, Terry Spiker, John Splivato, Jack Springer, Gregory John Stratton, Ida Frooms, Amy Clark, Kathy Todd, Russell David Rosine, Virginia Ginny Yant, Elaine Cash, Mary N. Wiedner,
We light a candle to honor this sacred time of mourning and grief. The depth of our grief and suffering reflects the depth of our love for those we have lost. We are thankful we can gather with others who are also brokenhearted, and we will hold each other up and bear our burden of grief together in friendship and with courage.
Hello, I'm Denise LaRosa. I'm the Community Education Manager of Hospice SLO County, and I'm reading in memory of my son, Tom, 2023. Dwight Haynes, Ellen Haynes, Raymond Baker, Senora Anderson, Tyson Anderson, Douglas Hyde, Maxie Holtz, Wayne Armour, Russell Lewis Fox, Sharon Fisher, Don Cribale, Gary Dreyer, Marion Stevens, Betty J. Alberti, Ella M. McAllister, Howard T. McAllister, Norman E. Alberti, Emma Sipe, Glenn Sipe, Ken McCollum, Venice McCollum, Ron McKenney, Chelsea McFarland, Matthew McFarland, and Michael McFarland. Bruce Lopini, Marjorie McNana, Maxine Lopini, Virgil McNana, Amy Elhart Patak, Joanne Neff, Michael S. Neff, Bill Rogers, excuse me, Charles Chuck Painter, Dolores Wenji, John Marinarino, Marie Rogers, Mary Lee Bianchi, Richard C. Parker, Annie Robach Walker, John F. Willie, Wayne Parrish, Maureen G. Hubbard, Charlie Monroe, Myra Connor, Mr. and Mrs. Louis Cepini, Leila Gomes, Edward Roberts, Paul Pobor, Anne Smullen, Bill Smullen. Well, that was Annie Smullen. Danielle Hardesty, David Hanna, Gordon Smullen, James Smullen, Jim Hanna, Liz Hanna, Roberta Weinberger, Ron Hanna, Stuart Hanna, Kyle Thorlaskin Dorman, Colleen West, Denise Paulette West, Troy Glenn West, Wyona Holloway, Gladys Gorgensen, Jordan West Jordison, Beverly Heinen Wilbur, Caroline Colster Heinen, Edith Herlocker Peterson, Fred Elliott Wilbur, Trevor George, Patsy McGinnis, Peter Williams, Rosalie Williams, Jack Weir, Violet Nishikawa, Dean H. Kelly, Council Jr., Mary Eva Council, and Jackson Anthony Wood.
Good evening. My name is Melissa LaPena, and I am Hospice Slow County's Community Outreach Coordinator. Tonight, I'm remembering my father, Arthur LaPena. Christopher Michael Clay, Gary Dean Suggs, Susan Handley Emerald, Charlie Fugo, Dolores Babcock, Gil Babcock, Jack Reddy, John Durant, Mabel Pence, Randy Babcock, Rena Fago, Vicki Brown, Peter Banyard, Alice Brown, Angel Guerrero, Angelina Alvarado, Arcelia Avalar, Asher Burnell, Barbara Fuller, Clementia Corona, Danita Raminha, David C. Watson, Dennis Johnson, Elizabeth Corona, Elizabeth Palm Larson, Eric Equivel Espinoza, Gwendolyn Ramos, Harbans Muhar, Inocencia Castillo Espinoza, John DeFonte, Juan Carlos Catalud, Lorena Meduena, Ludia Burleson Carminati, Mark Burleson, Pat King, Raymond and Jesse Teixeira, Ronnie Richardson, Susana Calayatod, Tim Anding, Tom Anding, Elizabeth Abrams, Robert McCorkle, William S. Crew, Judy Hannibal, Clint Allen Machado, Pearl, Joanne Postel, Nancy Turrell, Bob Perry, Hugh Ordenough, Joyce Ordenough, Virginia Perry, Jean J. Reese, Irene E. Reese, Jill Stevens, Anne McCracken, Chester Chet Cash, Ada Kepley, Albert Solomon, Andy Johnson, Angie Wasserman, Barbara Engel, Beverly Marquith, Bruce Parsons, Cliff Garrett, Francis Nealand, Gary S. Rose, Howard Eugene Spade, Jane Unger, Janice Parsons, Jean Gandy, Jeff Knorr, Jeffrey Scott Johnson, Jim Pasco, Nicole Bleakley, Penny Reeves, Robert Jing, Shar Wasserman, Stephen E. Price, Travis Jecker.
We light this candle to remember our loved ones. We are thankful for their laughter, smiles, and kindness, and the happy times we shared. We also acknowledge our struggles and regrets. Memory allows us to reflect on all the complexities and fullness of a life, and we treasure the gift of sharing life's journey with them.
Hi, I'm Jamie Metzger, and I'm the Grief Counseling Manager here at Hospice of SLO County, and I'm reading in memory of my husband, Bill Metzger. Bertha Dodge, Joanne Dodge Bliss, John Dodge, Jean Fabricius, Bob Fetterman, Carol Fetterman, Carol Brown, Keith Brown, Vance Cheney, Barbara George, Matthew Gardiner, Anthony Zicchetti, Herbert Garner, James Barr, Jim Lewis Garner, Louise Teresa Garner, Mark Harbert Garner, Roman Berkey, Dave Gold, Joan Gibson, Robert Gibson, Roger Krantz, Rosa Gold, Clarence Manners Updike, Evelyn Pauline Whitehead, Gregory Arthur Ott, Jane Updike Goodnow, Marion Egbert Updike, Marion Elizabeth Ott, Weston Whitney Goodnow, Bill Barker, Vern Hawk, Felix Rusnak, Gail Halverson, Sally Andrews, Lynna Thomas, Derek C. Hansen, Martin Luche, Christopher Heinlein, Janice Neal, Doretta Takagi, V. L. Holland, Beatrice Bell, David Hudgens, Don Kiefer, Forrest Jim Bell. General Hudgens. Gwyneth Kiefer. Kurt Shear. Lena Marks. Leroy Davis. Patricia Otteson Kiefer. Ralph Kettlecamp. Rosie Lusardi. Shelley Kiefer Taylor. Susie Hudgens Allen. Donna Kylier. The Dappin family. The Jacobs family. The Skirmerhorn family. Troy Jacobs. Victoria Jenks. Edward Jennings. John Jones. Mariah Jones. Richard Jones. Sandra Balistreri. Dennis Keene. Ed Ferguson. Evelyn Ferguson. George Malkanen. Margaret C. Highstand. Ian Andrew Kingsbury. William Metzger. Keoki Haas. Mickey Donahoe. Sean, Rihanna, Shyway, and Sadie Berry. Warren Barber. Ziadine Moseni. Bruce Summers.
Good evening. My name is Laura DeHaven. I'm a grief counselor with Hospice of SLO County. And tonight, I'm remembering my parents, Vernon and Hilda Dickerson. Joe Sayer. Brigitta Ostberg Beeman. Kathy Lynn Beeman. Greg Robert Bergstad. Charlotte Bignati. Robbie Yates. Eugene Waddell. Marilyn Baker Mads. Michael Borger. Patricia Borger. Thomas Borger. Cammie Dean. Lionel Bowers. Connor Ronan Bowling. David Lyon. David Merriweather. Desi Mae Brancart. Jane Clark. Juliana Jones. Maddie Brancart. Nita Merriweather. Robert Brancart. Robin Brancart. John Brooks. Janet Christine Tacey. Carl Brady. Irma Brady. Ernest Sementina. Helma Sementina. Travis Benjamin Whitesides. John Clark. Mary Campista. Zachary Young. Joseph Ferraro. Catherine Downey. Lucille Ferraro. Stephen Clifton.
Carla Colbury, Garrett Brown, Madeline Moscatelli, Robert Marrer, Harold O'Connor, Robin A. O'Connor, Theodore Copps, Jim Corcoran Sr., Louise Halpin, Louise Kirk, Margaret Corcoran, Stuart Halpin, Lindsay Matsey, Linda Darcy, Rogue DiMartini, Robert Grant, Denise McDonough, Margaret Adams, Robert Dickinson, Vivian Dickinson, Alice Avina, Craig Roy, Bob Gehring, Helen Gehring, Madge Ditchy, Charles DiVincenzo, Norma DiVincenzo, Diana Gibson, Jerry Gibson, Rita Gibson, Carrie Jean Melvin, Jorge Lara Farre, Christian Simpson, Jesselyn Rose Larson, Jared Harris, Thomas Henry Lindsay, Robert L. Candell, MD, Griffin Lucier, Russell Thomas Markham, Doug Myers, Cal Fox, Mary F. Myers, Don Tilley.
We light this candle to bring us hope. Hope for solace in moments of despair. Hope for strength as we walk an unfamiliar road. And hope for healing of our broken hearts and souls. As we look to the future, we know we are surrounded by love and grace, and we are not alone.
There's a candle
My name is Kim Chartrand. Gary B. Holloway. Hollis B. Goddard. Jean P. Goddard. Arthur La Pena. Rita Conquella. Josue Bermudez. Frida Ann Carroll. Nancy Joint. Mark Schneider. Art Schneider. Bruce Eddy. Barbara Martin. George Martin. Harold Gady. Mariana Gady. Joanne Otto. Andrew Farmer. Kenneth Lee Martin. Francis Alberta Billington Lane. Harold Joseph Green. Bill Crew. John Karras. Pete Pryor. Karen Pryor. Zachary Porter. John David Martinez. Chad Robert Flanagan. Rihanna Aspen Yates. Mark Ralph Martinez. Madeline Johnson. Nadia Fournier. Chuck Breen. Minnie George. Patricia Ugla. Melvin Magnuson. Lynna Thomas. Lynn Ballinger Staton. Hermelinda Loera. Aaron Ye. Betty Grady.
The following names are individuals who are living, and someone has chosen to honor them at our ceremony tonight. In honor of Donna Keene, in honor of Chris Kington Barker, in honor of Laska Gaylord, in honor of Marcy Adams, in honor of Marcy Villa, in honor of Patrice Weiss, in honor of Susan Olson, in honor of the Central Coast Memorial Society, and in honor of the Women's Alliance of SLO County. If a name was missed or mispronounced or pronounced incorrectly, I invite you to please say the name now. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Lilly. I'm lucky enough to be a board member of this great organization, and I'm here in honor of my Aunt Cindy, who passed away this year. The lantern of loyalty. When moments become heavier or darker than we can bear, seek the glorious candlelight, softening the tightness in our heart. Know that your loyalty fuels the lantern, illuminating grief's winding path. At times, it may flicker under the heaviness of loss or doubting strength. At times, it may dull without freshly drawn air or from our distractions of life. But know, it never extinguishes because our loyalty guides our loved ones from being beside us, hand in hand, to inside us, inside the home of our heart, where its everlasting glow is protected. For it is fed from the memories we cherish of those we no longer see, but we always feel. So, while on life's journey, let's capture the solace of a candle's glow, the immersive warmth our sun provides, and the wonder of the twinkle of the inside of a decorative light. Its magic reminds us to rely on our loyalty to those we've lost. And if we cannot find it, let's create it. Let's plug in the twinkling string of lights, the inner child marvels. Let's strike the match that illuminates our candle in dark days. And let's be the sun for others to turn towards in times of grief. Thank you.
Before we head outside for the candle lighting ceremony, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone involved for making this such a beautiful event. Jason Provencio, all their wonderful musicians who shared their talent, Mission San Luis Obispo, Big Slow, our event sponsors, the Hospice SLO County volunteers and staff, and everyone who donated in their loved ones' names. It has been wonderful to be with you here again in person this year. This ceremony has also been live streamed and recorded, and in a few days you can view the recording on our website at hospiceslo.org. As we exit the mission through the back door for the candle lighting ceremony, please pick up a candle and gather at the tree at the top of the steps right next to the mission. Volunteers will help light your candle by the tree. Once we are all gathered outside, we will start the candle lighting ceremony and then we'll end with a call and response poem. You are welcome to take your candle with you or leave it with us. As we prepare to exit, I leave you with this thought from an unknown author. When someone you love becomes a memory, that memory becomes a treasure. Let's join outside to light our candles.
Do they want to start now?
Oh, I think,
No, they got to wait.
well, wait, just a minute, yeah. Feel free to come in a little bit closer.
Please, everyone, come on close to the tree.
Would somebody like to speak on the mic?
Oh, it'll be Denise.
Where's Denise?
Oh, she's right.
I'm just zipping up
Yeah.
my coat. I'm right here.
There you
Just a little chilly than I thought.
Check, check. This is here on the speaker.
You all look so beautiful with your candles. When we hold the totality of our lives, the darkness as well as the light, what we get is color. It is the dark and light together that weaves the story of the cosmos and our lives in their full complexity. The light that sparkles this time of year are made only more beautiful by the darkness of the sky. Likewise, we all bring our individual light and the light of the memory of those we lost into the darkness, and together we create a beautiful scene. And so, as we light our candles together tonight, we embrace the darkness and the light. We recognize the darkness of loss and grief that we must all experience with death. And in doing so, we can hold our lights for one another. Symbols of our hope and courage, compassion, joy, and our peace. May this space shine with the loving memories of all of our loved ones, and please know that you are not alone. We will take a moment of silence and bask in this light of community, love, and hope. Thank you.
Let us share the memorial poem, We Remember Them. It's by Sylvan Kamens and Rabbi Jack Reimer, and you will respond, We Remember Them. It's listed in your program. At the rising sun and its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter,
We remember them.
at the opening of the buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and the warmth of summer, we remember them. At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. And at the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have joy, we crave to share, we remember them. And when we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. For as long as we live, their memories too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. And now we will blow out our candles and go forward together. You are welcome to take your candles home as a memento or leave them here with us. But please, thank you for coming, and remember how important this moment is for your season. Maybe enjoy some cookies on your way out as well. Let's all, in the count of 3, blow out our candles, shall we? 1, 2, 3.